Well, thank you so much, Alicia. Thank you to the Morton Arboretum for hosting us today. And of course, it's really an honor to be here with Pleasantdale Middle School's Ms. Lowerman, Jennifer Lowerman, and Maplebrook Elementary's Ms. Tanya Pardung-Kiatasuk. How did I do?
Great.
Where are you? There you go. Pardung-Kiatasuk. We'll all say that 3 times. Really, and their students. I mean, think about these young people and what they've done. Something truly outstanding. These are geological prodigies, and they're future state leaders. Today is really a very special day. It's the day that Dolostone becomes the official rock of Illinois. Now, the process of picking a state rock was a long one, and no one knows that better than the students here today. Without their commitment to democracy and using their voice to make change in our state, we wouldn't be here this morning. The students started out with 10 candidates for State Rock, all of which had historical significance to Illinois. 10 turned to the final 3, limestone, sandstone, and dolostone, all formidable choices. What ensued next was a heated campaign. Students didn't just make a case for the rock of their choice, they worked to persuade people and to get out the vote. Ms. Lowerman made a website for the election, which these students shared far and wide with friends and with family to vote for the future state rock. They posted signs throughout our prospective schools and spent recesses writing letters to our legislators and sending them to Springfield, a whopping 150 letters. With hundreds of participating schools and thousands of votes from Carbondale to Rockford to Chicago, the choice was clear. Dolostone emerged victorious. And it's no surprise. Dolostone, a specific form of limestone, forms most of our state's bedrock. In the early 1800s, Dolostone ignited one of the first major geological expeditions in the nation, right here in Illinois. It's an exceptional building resource used to build some of our most important structures and is found in architecture throughout our state. Its stones are found in our old state capitol building, which has recently been refurbished. So let me just say to all of these young geology students, you couldn't have picked a rock that better represents Illinois. Teachers like Ms. Lowerman and Ms. Pardung-Kiatasuk exemplify the power of educators and the important work that they do. Each of their students gained invaluable knowledge, not just about our state's geological history, but also about the legislative process. These lessons extend beyond the classroom, and their impact will last lifetimes. On behalf of the state of Illinois, thank you for the excellent work you do shaping the young minds of the next generation of leaders. Representative Yang Rohr, Senator Ellman, and Representative Costa Howard listened to these students, took up their cause, and advocated on their behalf in the state capitol. And I'm honored to share this day with you as we celebrate these students' activism. Could each and every one of Ms. Lowerman and Ms. Pardung-Kiatasuk's students raise your hand? I know we have some standing here and out in the audience. Wow, terrific. I want to congratulate all of you on this tremendous achievement. May this bill signing remind you of the power that you hold to change our state for the better. When you speak up and organize and rally your community, anything is possible. Today, we celebrate your determination, your civic engagement, and your pride for the state of Illinois. And now it's my pleasure to introduce one of the sponsors of the bill, one who was responsive to these students who made the entreaty to make Dolostone our state rock, and that's Representative Yang Rohr. Representative?
Thank you. I'm Janet Yang Rohr, and I'm the state representative for the 41st District representing the Naperville and Warrenville area. And I want to thank you all so much for being here. Thank you to Governor Pritzker for coming here and to the Morton Arboretum for hosting us. It is such a thrill to be here today to see so many of the students, so many of the teachers who work so hard to make this bill happen, to make this legislation come to life. You know, it's because of your hard work that upon Governor Pritzker's signing of this bill, that Dolostone will become Illinois' very first official state rock. I know you're going to hear a lot from the students and the teachers here today. Dolostone, as you all might have heard already, has such an important history in Illinois. It has importance from a geological standpoint, from an economic standpoint, and it's the foundation upon which the old state capitol is built in Springfield. And you know what? We are building other foundations here today. Today, the students that you see here around you, the students that participated in this legislation all across Illinois, for them, we are building the foundations for them to be lifelong learners that are civically minded and that are ready and willing to engage and help with our community. To the students of Pleasantdale Elementary, thank you so much for all of your hard work researching all these rocks in the state of Illinois. Thank you for making sure that the voices of Illinois students were heard and that they had a part in picking the Illinois State Rock. To the students of Maplebrook Elementary in Naperville 203, thank you for making your voice heard, not only in your votes, but also in your testimony at the House Committee. You know, legislators like me, we often rely on experts to help us get through these committees, to help us make the case. And I can think of no better experts than you all to help us make the case and get this legislation passed. All of this legislation started as a scientific inquiry, as a science experiment and in a research project, and it quickly morphed into one of collaboration and one of a lesson in state government and the legislative process. And we know that these kind of authentic learning experiences, they only happen because of amazing teachers and wonderful schools that support our students. To those teachers, I want to say thank you for today, thank you for every day, and especially thank you for the last 2.5 years. We see you and we appreciate you, and we thank you for allowing us to be part of your learning processes and for allowing us to be a part of your authentic learning experiences that you're creating for your students. Now, whether it's with Dolostone or whatever big issue or small issue that you have, I know that Representative Costa Howard, Senator Ellman, Governor Pritzker, we believe so deeply that you need to be part of the legislative process, that we need to hear your voice. Thank you for being part of the process today. We are all so looking forward to the great things that you're going to do for our state and the great things you're going to do for our community in the years to come. Now, these kinds of legislation, they only happen with really great partners, and I am so proud to introduce my friend and my partner, Laura Ellman, who is our great senator in our district.
Hi, everybody. I'm Senator Laura Ellman, representing Naperville, Wheaton, Warrenville, West Chicago, and I am thrilled to be in this little pocket of paradise in the great state of Illinois. I want to echo a lot of what Governor Pritzker and Representative Yang Rohr have said. But students, you raised your hands, and I want to thank you. I want you to recognize that not only are you a part of history, as was mentioned, in early Illinois history, students chose the state rock. They've also chosen the state flower, and they were part of choosing the state birds. You're part of Illinois history. But more than that, your work in getting this bill created and getting this bill passed is also a message to people all over Illinois that everyone, we all can be part of the legislative process and helping make Illinois a better place. I want to thank. Could you raise your hands again, students? I want to thank you. thank you so much for that hard work that you've done, but also inspiring more people to do more for Illinois. Thank you very much. And I think everyone's supposed to introduce. Oh, and I'd like to introduce one of the teachers from Pleasantdale who actually was the driver in this, and this is Jennifer Lauerman and her students.
I'm going to turn it over to one of my students. They're going to start speaking today.
During our geology unit, we realized Illinois does not have a state rock. That got us thinking about what rock would represent our state the best. So we started researching, and we reached out to several Illinois geology professors, rock collectors, gem clubs, and rock enthusiasts. We even had Zoom calls with some of these experts in the field. Luckily, during this process, none of us took this for granted.
Our class then narrowed it down to 3 rocks: sandstone, limestone, and then dolostone. Our next step was to get as many votes for this as possible. A website and survey were created. We are so proud to say that we have over 1,300 votes. Some cities that were represented were Naperville, Kenilworth, and Chicago. When we mapped them, we saw votes from all over Illinois, as far north as Rockford and as south as Carbondale. Dolostone won with over 50% of the votes. This brings us to where we are today. We are so glad we have a sponsor for this bill and are able to set in stone a state rock symbol for Illinois.
Why did we choose dolostone, you may ask? It is one of the most common rocks in Illinois. It provides valuable nutrients to soil. It is a great building resource, and most of the bedrock in northern Illinois is made of dolostone. The dolostone in Galena, Illinois was the cause of a major mineral rush in the early 1800s, as was the site of the first large geologic expedition in the United States. This rock held the iron ore in Galena. We feel this rock represents the eons of time in our state.
I just want to say this is a dream that I'm here right now. The students, we started this project during a very crazy time, 2 years ago almost, and I was teaching in a cafeteria, and there was a teachable moment that just exploded. A couple kids started talking about rocks, and pretty much we really focused a lot of the year on geology. I'll never forget this. But again, just being here, and again, it was already stated, and I'd just like to echo the idea that we're choosing a rock that is used in fertilizer, and what better place to have this bill signed into law at the Morton Arboretum. I'm so proud of my students for their effort and their determination. It was a very special group of students that really didn't want to let this stop. They spent time during recess. I need to reiterate that. That's a huge deal in middle school, for anyone to give up their recess. And they stuffed envelopes, and they made them very colorful. But this was a question that really did lead to a lesson for all of us, that we had hope, and we could really grow through this crazy time. Their passion for this is why we're here today. And I want to thank Mrs. P. for her class for also being part of this, getting this where we're at today. Never could have ever in my wildest dreams imagined this. The students at Pleasantdale have learned a lot about the legislative process, and I have too. Even today, all the steps involved in today, just knowing that these big events happen all the time, and we're part of one of them, and we are part of history. And I want to thank all of the people that put together today to happen. You are all rock stars in my eyes. I am now going to pass it on to Mrs. P. and her student.
Our class partnered with the 5th grade class from Burr Ridge who had the idea to name a state rock. When we heard all the research and work that Mrs. Lauerman's class had done to determine the best Illinois state rock, we jumped at the opportunity to be a part of this exciting process. The entire Maplebrook 4th grade spent time reading the research of the potential 3 state rocks, and all 4 sections of Maplebrook 4th grade were part of the voting process. Throughout the year, we were updated on the progress of the bill and even had the chance to testify in front of the House committee to support the bill. Maplebrook and Naperville 203 is extremely excited to have been a part of this exciting process.
Our class read the research from Mrs. Lohman's class, Mrs. Lorman's class on 3 different rocks: sandstone, limestone, and dolostone. Everyone in 4th grade got to vote on which rock they felt best represented the state of Illinois. I voted for dolostone because it's similar to quartz, as in some of the areas it's pretty see-through. Its surface, where it's kind of see-through, it's as smooth as glass. Dolostone is pretty much limestone, except that it contains magnesium. Dolostone is a very cool rock, and some of the time you find it, it may contain a fossil. It was fun to be able to see how voting led to a bill. Now that bill is being signed into a law. We learned a lot from this experience. Thank you. Governor, can you now sign the bill?
Absolutely. Thank you. Well done. All right, let's get all the kids around here. There's only one line to sign on and a lot of pens. So you're going to see me just partially sign for each one. You ready? And then I'm going to have you guys, all the kids, hold this up. 2 in the middle here. One of you 2 hold up, and I'll get out of the way and stand behind you. And come on, teachers. There you go. You guys hold up. There you go. Great. Well done.
Wow.
All right, I'm going to take a few questions from members of the media, and we'll make sure these pens get distributed. Hi, Marnie.
Hi, Governor. Some of the Republican candidates have asked for the National Guard to be called out to combat recent violence, involving law enforcement. What do you say to that?
Well, I think you know that I have called out the National Guard whenever local mayors that I've spoken to have wanted that done, have needed that done in their local communities, and I'll continue to make the National Guard available whenever it is necessary.
And as you know well, hospitalizations are going up for COVID, and there's cases going up. What's your game plan for going ahead? Any thought about masking?
So I want to remind you that at the height of Omicron, and really at the height of COVID-19, we had about 7,400 people in the hospital. Today we have around 1,600 people in the hospital. What I watch most closely around COVID to determine whether we need to take state action is the situation in our hospitals and whether we're keeping people safe and healthy. As you know, one of the big differences between a year ago and several months ago and now is we have widespread availability of treatments, of therapeutics. So if people do get sick from COVID, we have Paxlovid, for example, that is available, widely available. You can have your doctor prescribe it to you, and specifically within the first 5 days of feeling symptoms. Very importantly, we're trying to keep people safe and healthy and remind them that if you haven't been vaccinated, now's a great time to go do it. If you haven't received your booster, now is the perfect time to go do that. I'm somebody who's of an age over 50, so I've had a second booster. And I encourage anybody over 50 to go get that booster. But that is one of the reasons why, even though you've seen case numbers go up, you have not seen hospitalizations go up commensurate with that. Happy to take any other questions, members of the media. All right. Thank you all very much. Thank you.